so much for coming on today then, Kerri. So if you can just tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, so I am Kerri Angus and I have Peaches salons. So I opened up Peaches in 2010, and I was myself in the back of like hairdressers or just like other businesses, sole trader. And from 2013 onwards, I built it up, and from 2013 onwards was when I took the first salon on, and then built up staff, more salons, training academy from then on. And now we are one of the biggest salon brands in Scotland.
Perfect. Busy, busy. So when did you start out in the beauty industry, and is that where you always thought you would be?
No, I was, so when I was younger, I had my daughter really young. I fell pregnant at 18, and it was just me and her, and I was wild. I won't go into detail, but I was wild. And when she went to nursery, I decided that I was going to go and do beauty. And she's 18 now. When she went to nursery, I was like, right, I'm going to go and do beauty because I'm bored. I had all this time when she was going to be at nursery, so I decided that I was going to go and do that. Didn't have a clue what I was going to do with it either, and from then, when I was there in my first year, I got a part-time job in Earth Castle Spa, and I was working there at the weekends. Sorry about the background noise if you can hear it.
No, that's fine.
I'm in the salon in a corner. So from Earth Castle Spa, working at the weekends, there was things happening in the spa at the time that I was like, this doesn't sit right with me. I can say that now because the manager doesn't work there anymore. But there was things happening like replacement of products, you know, because they'd ran out and they were replacing it with cheaper products and stuff like that. So it's much better now, by the way, and more organised. But there was things like that happening, and I'm like, I don't know if I really like this. Plus, I don't really know if I like working for people. And because I didn't have much of a work career behind me, because I'd started working at like 16, like everyone else, 15, 16, and it was just like here and there, jobs here and there, didn't really settle anywhere. So I didn't really have a work experience as such, but I just knew that it wasn't even that I hated work, I just hated working for people. I couldn't ever find anyone that I liked, or that kind of inspired me to come into work every day. So decided that I was just going to do mobile therapy, and started like that, and then found my mum's hairdresser. My mum was in the hairdressers one day, was talking to the owner who did her hair at the time, and he was like, oh, we're looking for somebody like to go upstairs, they've got a room and it's in the city centre. And my mum was like, my daughter. So from then, and it kind of snowballed from then, so that's where I started. Was in Ballinbackley on Hope Street. Did everything, whole beauty, like anything that I was past. So this is always, I was still in college, I was doing my HN year, the last year, and I was basically adding to the list as I was passing the modules. And I had went on other training such as cal gel, tan training, like fake bake, all that, lashes as well. So I was offering everything. And then after a wee while, I realised that people were coming back to me for waxing. I hated waxing.
Oh, really?
I hated it. It was messy. I just hated waxing. Never ever liked it from college, but people kept coming back to me, and I'm like, why does everybody keep coming back to me? And I was actually considering taking it off of my treatment list because I hated it that much. And then it was, I had bought hot wax one day to have a play about with, because I'd heard about this peelable wax, it's meant to not be sore and all that. Tried it out, my mum, God love her, and totally messed it up.
Oh God.
You can imagine. Trying it out in my bedroom of all places, with the window open on a cold day, and I'm playing with hot wax.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it wasn't good for my mum. I'm surprised she still gets waxed. So then I realised that I needed to get a training course under my belt. And I just did different training, hot wax training, played about with it, found Perron, and from Perron realised that actually waxing wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2011, I decided that I was going to make a really bold move. Nowhere at the time in 2011, there wasn't really many salons that were niching, if any. No lash bars were around. There was no waxing like dedicated. I think there's one waxing salon, and it was designer waxing that were around, and that was it really. That's all that you'd heard of. Nobody was in the socials weren't that big. You didn't have Instagram. Only Facebook and stuff like that, and so Facebook, I was kind of working my way to building. And then I came up with Peaches, and I decided to scrap everything else and just focus on waxing, and niche and do something in the beauty industry that nobody had really done before.
Yeah, that was actually one of my questions. I was going to say, how do you feel about the niche? Because obviously it's just a wax bar, your salons, isn't it?
Yep.
So is that's obviously where you came up with that idea, because it wasn't really around at that point, really?
No, it wasn't. And I was, what I had done at the beginning of my business career, as a sole trader, I was always trying to learn off other entrepreneurs. And I'm really big on coaching. I think that everybody should have a business coach, no matter what stage you're at in business. I think that everybody needs coached. It's the same with fitness. Do you know, like you kind of, if you've got a goal and it's a fitness goal, then you get a coach to achieve that goal. And people don't put their business into that category at all. And it's always baffles me, because I've always done it. Where I've got a business goal, so I need to find somebody that can help me get to that. Mm-hmm. And it's always somebody that's been there and done that. So I don't think that anyone should have the same business coach either for years and years, because I think that it's really healthy to outgrow your coach, and not necessarily outgrow them and become better than them. I'm not saying that, but I think that with business coaching, somebody needs to help you get to a goal, and then you pick the person that's suitable for your next goal.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I learned from a lot of other entrepreneurs. I was the member of a group called Entrepreneur Circle, and it's Nigel Botterill, and I would really highly recommend their work. Even now, I'm still a part of that.
Right.
And because that migrates as I do, it's really good to kind of stay with them, because no matter where I'm at in this journey, they're there.
Oh, that's so good. So is that like a kind of...
I would always advise, yeah, and I would advise everybody to find somebody that's been there and done that, and not necessarily with like lashes or with waxing or with anything like that in particular, but just somebody who is like way up there, you know, and who you look up to in a certain in a way.
Yeah, I love that. That's so good. So you have your two salons, don't you now? Do you still do treatments, and obviously you have a big team, don't you, in both salons? So what's your career on, like, how did you go from being your sole trader to like going without your teams?
I had a baby.
Oh, really?
No, it wasn't that. It was so I had been doing less and less. Mm-hmm. The bigger your business grows, the more you need to work on it, and you'll have heard the whole work on your business, work in it. It was really hard to transition from being the waxer that everybody wanted to allowing those people to go to other people, your other people. But do you know the thing is that I've found is that the only difficult part about that is you stepping away in your mind, because the clients will go to your staff. They'll moan about it, some of them. They might have a comment to say about it, but they will always go there. And actually, it's good because the clients that you have had and the build up to the point where you're going to step away to work on the business, those clients are actually comfortable enough to say to you, look, this isn't quite right and that's not quite right. So in actual fact, what you're doing is you've got your own kind of team of experts, if you like, because they're so used to the way that you do things that they know what you would accept and what you wouldn't accept as part of your quality assurance. And so you learn from that, and that's when you can adapt your training for your staff, etc. So actually the hardest part about that is just yourself stepping away and just kind of facing the clients to be confident enough to say, I'm building this business and that's the reason why I'm not doing treatments anymore.
I know, I always hear that off of like loads of people, especially doing these podcasts now, and that's the one thing that people do say, but it sounds so hard.
It's because when you think about it, you've got particular clients in your head and you can hear them. You can hear them, you're like, I'm not going anywhere else. And you're like, well, you will.
I know. So what do you look for then as well in a space? Like, how do you kind of determine the location? What do you take into consider there?
So we did expand up to Aberdeen, so we actually had 3. And actually sold 1 to, I sold Aberdeen Peaches, Sammy, who you know, the studio. So she bought Peaches up there and just rebranded as a studio. And it was a time where I had built it up enough for me to be comfortable enough to be like, right, okay, we need to release this, because geographically, the way that the business was working, it was just better to kind of scale back a little bit. And work on what we had already down here. So we've got Falkirk and Glasgow. We just recently moved Falkirk about 1.5 years ago, from kind of nearer the main street down a little bit, but we're on like the kind of main roundabout in Falkirk that everyone passes through. So, and it's not even like where they're that visible, but we're just somewhere main. And with Glasgow, we're in the Merchant City, but there's a main access to like the main car parks, or not far from the train station. So I think all your usuals. I think that there's this new wave of salons that are opening up in office space, and it works financially. However, the credibility that you get if you're building a brand, it can, in my opinion, I think you need to look bigger and you need to take more risk if you want a brand. But this is like, if that works, the office works completely, and I've been there and it works great. But when you get to a certain point where you're like, I want to grow this brand and I want this to be household in the beauty world, then you need to then consider how you look to an outsider or somebody who's never ever met you before. Because I think that the offices are great, and when your clients are already used to you and coming to you, they'll go anywhere. But what you need to then think about is everybody who hasn't been to you, and then compare yourself to somebody who is not necessarily high street but almost high street, and say, well, if that was just on looks alone, who are they going to pick? Looks and surroundings. And I think that's quite harsh to say, and I'm quite harsh when I'm coaching people and stuff. I'm very to the bone. But I haven't got where I've got, you know, I've done it all, and I genuinely have been in office space, and I've been in the back of a hairdresser's and the back of a gym. I've been everywhere, so I can at least speak from experience with this. But yeah, in my opinion.
No, that's such good advice. Some people don't really think like that, don't they?
I think it's because it's not in the radar right now, and people want to just get to the next few months and the next year. But really, what you want to do is you want to make that stamp, and you want to make that presence. And I just think you've got to look at all the people who are amazing at their branding, like Bow Colour Bar and NAF and Swoon Nails, and look at what they're doing, look at what they've done. So where have they been? What are they doing now? You know.
Yeah, just getting it's like all about inspiration from these people, isn't it?
Yep, that's it.
So for anyone that's listening then that's working on themselves that wants to branch out into that salon, hire staff, what's like your advice to them? What would your first kind of piece of advice be?
Well, before COVID, I would have said that you need to make sure that you can afford to not have any money.
Yeah.
You need to make sure, and I'm not saying that like the age-old thing where entrepreneurs will tell you that a business doesn't make money in the first 2 years, all that, it's shite. Our business has never not made money. Mm-hmm. See, ours, mine has never not made money. It's always been in an increase, and it's never been at a loss. But at the beginning, I worked my arse off. I worked 6.5 days a week, 7 days a week sometimes, and you do not see your kids sometimes. And it's that thing where I try to live a very mindful life now, but it's because I can, mm-hmm. and because I've got that goal. So it's about being very specific with your goals, and it's about taking risks, because if you don't take the risk, you're never going to get there. And it's about being comfortable with being uncomfortable financially.
Yeah.
Because it comes down to it where, you know, you'll be making decisions where you've got maybe £1,000 in your bank, and you know you're then going, right, well, I need to open my next one. And if anybody from the outside was to look at that, they would be like, what the fuck are you doing? But you can comfortably say, well, yeah, that's going to cost me more than that, but these clients are going to come in and I can charge this. And so it's about forecasting, but not forecasting your budget or your, I mean, I've never done a business plan, but I think it's about forecasting your goals, how you get there, what you charge up there, like, you know. So there's a lot of planning involved, but also there's a lot of just going for it.
Yeah, I know. Everybody says just go for it. It's good.
You've got to remember as well that a lot of the things that, if you look at kind of business owners like myself or like other salon owners that you look up to and aspire to, their personality comes into it a lot of the time. Mm. So personality, the personality of me that will be very like other salon owners, like Fallon who owns Bow, like Tammy who owns NAF, is that we will go for it and not worry about what ifs. But then throughout it, we will, you know, that there will be worries, but it's just that we just go for it. So, and that is very much linked to your personality.
Yeah.
So sometimes people need to push out that kind of their own personality almost.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I get that. So you've also won some great awards in competitions and stuff. Well, for the industry, do you think that's a good idea for entering these kind of things for the business, like brand awareness and things?
For sure, it's brand awareness, but also it's a bit of a kind of blowing smoke up your own arse.
Which we don't do a lot of.
They do a lot of themselves.
Yeah.
And actually to get the award, because some of them are I hope that this podcast is like explicit, because I keep forgetting that I swear so much. But some of the awards are a load of crap, and it's not votes, even though they say that it's votes. It's just like kind of who goes there, who enters quickly, and who gives their supporting evidence really quick. And so sometimes it's down to that, sometimes it's down to favouritism, sometimes, but then you've got awards such as the Pro Beauty Awards, which we did win. So you've got the Pro Beauty Awards. The Pro Beauty are legit through and through. They look at your finances, they look at they secret shop you.
Oh, good.
And then they report on that, and then they actually send out a judge to your salon for you to show them around, show them all your paperwork, everything. So when you win that, you know that you've won that.
Yeah, that's quite
yeah,
good.
look at the
good
kind of
back
credentials of the awards as well, but also just go for them, because to get them it's just like a little bit of that on your ego.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. So you also have a training academy as well. Is that something you always thought you would be as well, training people, and do you enjoy that side of things?
When I started Peaches, I I became the ambassador after a few months. I became the ambassador of Peramigo, which is our wax brand that we use.
Mm-hmm.
And with them, I was showing people around the waxes, all the different waxes that we use, and I was doing what they call discovery days. And that then led me to go, well, do you know what, I actually think I want to train people, because people were coming in and playing with the waxes to decide what to buy, but they weren't able to hold a spatula properly.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, these people have got their own shops and stuff, like, right? So then it made me realise that I had a skill, and I could teach it. And obviously it's the next step for a salon. It's almost like a natural progression for a salon owner to teach their skill if they have got a niche. And so I wrote all the brochures, I wrote all the training manuals, and we got them accredited, and we're still accredited through the guild, and we still release more training courses as we progress. So it's actually went from being just waxing to beauty training academy. So
that's so good. That's good. Oh, that's nice. So also moving on then to a positive mindset. I know you said a little bit there. How important do you think a positive mindset is for success?
I don't believe that a negative mindset on anything gets you anywhere. Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's an element of that you could bury your head if you were surrounded by utter crap and it, like, your life was falling down around you, but you're like, it's okay, it'll get better. I think that people mistake that as a positive mindset, and I don't think that is. I think that is just burying your head in the sand. Yeah. I think that positive mindset is, what positive actions can I take today? Yeah. And I'm very mindful, and I believe in meditation. I believe in looking after your brain, and I believe that then helps you create this kind of positive space when it comes to work. And anything that comes up, which things always do, you know, you've got people who can moan about having staff and, oh, how can I find the right ones, or it's always just a bollock, and it can be if you continue to think that way. But if you can kind of switch that to thinking, right, okay, they might not do what I do exactly how I do it, however, they're working hard, they're turning up. Like, they're able to then give you your freedom to work on the business, and maybe it's more of an insight on you as well. Mm-hmm. And I always feel like sometimes whatever's happening around you is a reflection of what you're kind of putting out there or not putting out there.
I really believe things like that too. I really believe your energy is just, see, if you're all negative vibes, then
shit happens. It just happens around you. And I just, so it's almost like whatever, like, if you can just purposefully radiate good, mm-hmm. or, you know, and it's that whole age-old good vibes only, like, if you can actually just imagine yourself radiating that, mm-hmm. then it will come back on you. It will.
Yeah, definitely. I so agree with that. So where do you see yourself and Peaches in 10 years' time? I love this question.
How many times have you asked this since COVID though?
So, I know. Nobody really wants to answer anymore.
Because we're all too scared. Like, so right, before or after COVID answer. No, I think even in 10 years' time, right? Don't go on a tangent here. In 10 years' time, I think that the salon's part of Peaches. So Peaches is the umbrella. We've got the salons, we've got the training, we've got our products, and we've got other things like coaching and stuff like that. So the salon's part of it. In 10 years' time, I would like to have the employees own that part themselves.
Yeah.
So they're all in the shares. Mm-hmm. It's all theirs. Even whoever comes on board does their kind of year induction, and then they come into the part of and everybody's part of the board, if you like.
Yeah, that's
and whatever effort they make, they then reap the benefits. So that's what I would really like, because that for me, that's my way of kind of giving back to the people who work hard for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that sounds good.
And I'll be in the Bahamas.
That's what a lot of people's answers are. I'll be on the beach.
Out of this country.
So another question then, maybe about COVID. What do you think you would change, or what have you what's your difference now of thinking, like with COVID happening with business?
So I feel like we've taken it in the chin. I feel like we've taken it well. There has been moments.
Yep.
Like everybody has had. I've had a few meltdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I think some of them have been on social media.
Yeah.
Like that. Stop trying to book. Our booking system isn't working. So yeah, we've had a few meltdowns, but we have, in general, we've taken this in the chin. And what I was actually just talking to my husband about this last night, and I'm like, everyone just needs to suck it up, realise that it's a real thing, and everybody who is affected by it, even if you are, because we have been affected by it financially, you know, we, like August this year didn't take what August last year took, nowhere near it. And I'm talking about thousands and thousands. And you know, through lockdown we lost £300,000 gone. So, but if we sit there and be like, this is what we lost, and this is, look at this, and this is down, all that is doing for me is just drawing that energy into all that shite that's happened that we have no control over.
I know. I think that's the biggest thing, that we don't have any control over something like that.
And we don't have control over what's about to happen either, like to a certain degree. Like we do, but we would have to collectively be in it together, and we're not. No. Because people are still going to the pubs and like spitting all over each other. And they are closed, and they're not playing by the rules, and so and even there's salons in there that are not out there that are not wearing PPE. You know, and it's on their socials, they're putting up pictures, and I'm like, where's your fucking PPE? Like, so people aren't taking this seriously. So collectively, it's never going to happen. So we can't control that. And I just think that just now, if I have any advice for any salon owners or sole traders out there in the beauty industry, it's to get wrapped up in PPE and do everything that you can do, because you've got control over that. And it's to take today as the first day of business every day. And how are you going to get more business in every day? So this isn't about, you know, like the age old, like, let's just email everybody and let's do offers. Sack offers. We can't afford to do offers.
I've seen a few people do offers, and I'm like,
no, we can't afford this in the industry. We can't afford to compete against each other.
Bring it down more, like the industry standards and stuff.
And this is it. Like this, yes, we're going into a recession, but I can guarantee you that the beauty industry, the hair industry, is never immensely affected in any of the recessions that we've had. We've always kept our ground. We've always stood our ground in recessions. So if everybody just works together and just says, right, how do I get this, like, today better tomorrow? What can I do? I'm going back to kind of old school marketing ways, and I could go into that like in more detail at another time, but it's about getting creative now with your clients, and just making sure that everybody knows exactly what you're doing, and it's not just maybe an email shot. It's maybe a video where you are full of PPE and you do, because what we're expecting is that folk know what we're doing.
Yep.
And there's people that are too scared to come out the house still.
Yeah.
And quite rightly so, but they might not realise that we are taking all this precaution. Because we put it in a post maybe like 3 months ago, or an email 3 months ago, but not everybody gets that. So
yeah, of course. So are you thinking that you're going away from social media to get people, or what's your way of thinking?
I'm going to use both. So what I plan to do is go back to the kind of old school way of marketing, where you have a kind of temptation here. So maybe it's like a free offer of something, and then what you would then lead them on to do is, once they sign up for that then is a tripwire to another part of a lead. It's like a lead magnet. It's another part of the lead magnet where, you know, you would then entice them in. But also what we're doing is we're writing a couple of campaigns today, and it's to explain to people, like, we know that you've been shaving, and this is obviously waxing based. We know you've been shaving and doing your own stuff. We know that you've went longer than you've ever went before, and it's actually now a bit more acceptable to have either longer hair or just go longer in between appointments. But here is some stuff that will help you go longer in between, and we've got like serums that stunt the hair growth and stuff like that. So what I plan to do is offer this to people who are coming in for their wax, but then saying to them, look, this is going to get you longer in between your waxes. So rather than going, oh, just come in, like, make your find a way to make your clients feel comfortable at home. But they also want to come in because they see the value in not as many appointments, but that one appointment that they might have now every 8 weeks rather than every 6. Because it's reality, you know. So what everybody needs to write down their fears, write down exactly what is reality from that and what is in their minds. Is it your thoughts around that fear, or is that reality, and can it be changed?
That's good. That's so good to think about, like, the clients at home as well, like, to help that out, because there is people that's either scared or they are just waiting so much longer. And I think there's a lot of people that's like, I've noticed nails as one of the things that my clients anyway are saying, that, oh, I can go longer, I'm not getting the nails. And
I mean, that's been 3 weeks for me, and although I'm always like that 6 weeks later or something. but people were getting a kick out of, at the beginning of lockdown, they were getting a kick out of how long they were keeping their nails on for. So that's their last mindset of nails. And it's the same with lashes. The lockdown happened, anyone who had a fresh set of lashes on for lockdown were like, I'm going to keep these good. And you know, they were doing everything that they could to keep them good. So you've got that now where, and also everyone's like, fuck, are we going into another lockdown? So what my advice would be is to, how can you help your client at home, never mind in the salon?
Yeah, that's good.
It might be that it's an investment of products that you can then offer them, but an investment is just that, you know, it's for a return. So
yeah, 100%. So to our last question then, to end the show, what's your best and most worthwhile investment, just as we were talking there?
Do you know what? It's my wax pots.
Oh, really?
And it was not even a big, massive investment. I would say that, along with, we did a big 30k refurb in 2015, and it was it was massive. Like, it was a massive refurb. It was up and down stairs, but we only had the 3 rooms upstairs in Glasgow, and then downstairs was just this big open plan basement, but it was like a basement in Glasgow. It's like the wee ghost boy downstairs. He still kicks about, right enough. But so we did a big refurb, and now it's 2 rooms downstairs, a training room, a staff room, 3 rooms upstairs. But like going back to what I was saying about how do you look to somebody who doesn't know you, that was by far the best thing that I've ever done, because it just made us look like a brand, a professional brand. So I think that people have more access now. Like when I first opened Peaches, I was painting the place myself. It was all shabby chic because that's all I could actually do. Everything just looked shit. So I was like, oh, that's just shabby chic. So and it was like a really pink pretty salon, whereas the refurb was all white, grey, clinical. And it just kind of stepped us up a notch. So yeah, that's probably my biggest and best investment.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
What was the other question?
Well, the last question is, in the last 5 years, what's a new habit or belief that has improved your life?
Meditation.
Yeah, do you love that?
Like, I don't love it all the time, and I struggle with it at times, and I can sit there and be like, this is shit, I'm not doing this properly. But I'll still stay in it, and I'll do it every day.
Yeah, that's so good. I really want to get into meditation, but just like what you were saying there, I don't push through. I just struggle with it. My mind goes away.
Well, I'm now a meditation teacher. I have my yoga TV. Like, I'm big on all of that now, the mindful life. But I would say for anyone starting out, the Unplug app for meditation is, and it's insane. It's so good. You can do it guided, unguided. You can have 2 minutes. You can have 20 minutes. And every night, I'll do an unguided meditation during the day or in the morning, but every night I'll put my sleep meditation on in my ears or just next to me on the phone, because usually the husband's not up till later, so put it next to me on my phone, and the phone cuts off after it anyway. So the Unplug app is just amazing, and it's worth buying. I think it's £60 for the year, but it's worth it.
Oh, that sounds good. I'll get on that, because I really don't want to do about that.
I think you can do a free trial.
Yeah, that sounds good. So where can people find you then on social media?
I have got my social media, which is, I think it's _Kerri with an I _A. That's my Instagram, and we've got the Peaches Instagram, which is Peaches Salon, Peaches Salons. So we're on Instagram. We're on Facebook as well with Peaches. All coaching inquiries and stuff like that all come through the socials or the website. We've got an amazing website as well, so you can go and check that out. That's peachessalons.com.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for coming on again then, Kerri. It was so nice to speak to you.
Thanks for asking me.
No
That's
worries.
fun.